r/AskReddit. Parents with nanny cams. What have you caught your babysitter doing? I was the kiddo. My mom often tells the story of how she watched me give a big ol' hug to my babysitter who just broke down out of nowhere after serving me lunch. Turns out her dad had died a month back and it just wasn't a good day for her. I still remember you, Ms. Yancey. I hope you're doing just fine now. Not me, but my aunt's friend set up a nanny cam because she noticed that every time she changed her child's diaper the child would start crying a lot more than usual. Turns out when they watched the nanny change her diaper, she would use Clorox wipes if they were nearby instead of grabbing the baby wipes. A friend caught his nanny hitting their kid for interrupting that day's binge of the TV show Friends. We didn't have a nanny cam, but my mom set up the camcorder when she suspected our babysitter was stealing, and then caught the babysitter stealing. She returned most of the stuff when my mom threatened to report her to the police. I think she should still have reported her anyway. Now she probably just went on stealing at other people's places. I think she learned her lesson. Next time the camcorder will be stolen at first. Or maybe accidentally pours water on it. I got a nanny cam to keep an eye out for my elderly grandfather, especially when the home aides were there. My grandfather started asking for lots of cash and couldn't remember what was happening to it. A brooch that my aunt was supposed to get disappeared. And then I heard reports of my grandfather being inappropriate with some of the home health aides. He was busted squirreling away his medication that he was supposed to be taking in his chair, giving money to an aide and sexually harassing another aide. She stole a single puzzle piece of what we were trying to solve. Saw her put it in her pocket. Final straw was one of our ducking potted plants. What a psychopath. My aunt has a nanny cam and found my older cousin's babysitter playing blackjack with him. She lost $50 LOL. LOL, she paid to babysit him at that point. Friends of ours don't have kids but have dogs. They were going out of town and told the dog sitter about all of the cameras, including the one that is outside but sometimes picks up reflections and will actively notify them of motion. The dog sitter seemed to get it, but she forgot to convey that to her boyfriend, who came out and walked around naked quite a bit. The dogs were naked, too. Fair's fair. I dog sit for some neighbors, one of which told me she has a camera in the living room dining room for her dogs. You know, those ones that dispense treats. Anyways, I thought it was a strange essential oil diffuser until she told me what it was. I was being paid to play with them for an hour, but she found out that I was actually staying for 2 or 3 hours. When she asked me about it, I think I said something like I'd want someone to do the same for my dog. Ever since then she leaves me treats in the kitchen and even got me a Christmas present from the dogs. I'm not a parent, rather the child, and I had this nanny, or yar as we would call it. It became useless because she soon found out and kept unplugging the camera. It turns out she was slowly stealing money from my family. We fired her. My uncle told me this once when a babysitter was holding his daughter, my older cousin, when she was a baby. The baby was playing with her toys and she somehow swallowed a small piece of something, and the babysitter performed the Heimlich but for babies. There's a version of that for babies IDK where I found it though. She saved my cousin and her family was thankful. They have no idea where the babysitter is now, but right now she's supposed to be around her late 40s. She picked up our pug Doogie and was dancing around the living room with him while that "Hey, I Just Met You" song was playing. Was Doogie a good dance partner? His name is Doogie, and he can do a good boogie. I house dog sit for friends of my parents. The first time I did it, they mentioned they had a security camera by the front door that was motion activated, and I didn't really think anything of it. They were gone for a few weeks. They come home. Their 2 giant huskies are happy. I get paid and all was well. A couple weeks later my mom calls me laughing. My parents had dinner with the friends I dog sit for, and they showed a video to my parents from the front door cam. Apparently all it showed was me sprinting full speed down the hallway, a dog toy in hand. Biggest stupid grin on my face. Followed by the 2 huskies running and sliding after me. Followed by me. Followed by the huskies. Over and over and over and over again. I sit for them as often as I can. I have caught her making pillow forts that are heavily resistant to the monsters that may or may not come out during heavy thunderstorms with my kiddo. 20 minutes after bedtime. Needless to say, she was dealt with appropriately. Watched her outside playing with my dogs. She was dog sitting. Our yellow Labrador and golden retriever puppy started munching the blueberries right now off our blueberry bushes. They know damn well they're not supposed to get into the blueberry patch. We watched our dog sitter run over to them and try to get them to stop. She then ran inside and ran back out with a bowl. She proceeded to race the dogs for the blueberries. Had to be one of the highlights of our trip. We came home to a bowl of blueberries in the fridge and 2 very guilty papas. What I learned today: Redditors have more dogs than kids, if not equal. This isn't something that I caught a babysitter doing, but I remember that I once saw on TV the case of some parents that went with her baby to the doctor because she cried a lot for apparently no reason. The doctor told them that she looked really stressed and asked them if they were doing something that could make her act like that. They didn't. Then the doctor and the parents noticed some really tiny dots in the girl's belly and they had no idea where they came from. The babysitter told them that she had no idea, but they didn't believe her and secretly put cameras to spy what she was doing. Turns out that she was crazy. She was stabbing the baby with a needle from time to time and doing things like shaking her cradle incredibly hard to torment her. Of course, they called the police, confronted her, and she got arrested. I have rover sitters come in. Nothing weird. But honestly, if I pay you $30 to play with my dog for an hour, I expect more than you sitting on my couch and your phone while my dog tries to get your attention to play with him. Ugh. My family bought one to see our dogs when we leave on vacation twice a year. It's one where they can hear us and we thought it'd be great. We hardly used it. We also asked our maid to dog sit for us while we were out. Once when we looked at the feed, we saw the dog sitter there a solid 30 minutes early just petting the dogs and playing with them. She's since retired from working, but she was the sweetest old lady and we love her. Another time my dad left a wad of cash on top of the washing machine, about $600, and she put a rubber band around it with a note saying he misplaced it. Friend caught hers rummaging through her closet and stealing a blouse. She confronted her about it when she returned home, and the woman played innocent. She was wearing the ducking blouse. Sitting on our couch playing with the dogs like we paid them to. Chasing my cats around with a broom, hitting them. She's since been fired. We once caught the nanny putting charcoal to feed them as a snack. This woman claimed that she thought it was a snack. It was in a charcoal box. My brothers were 4. I was the child and there weren't any nanny cams, but my parents had left a small bucket of toys and things to keep me busy, and they hired a babysitter to watch me while they both had to take overtime at work and knew they would be gone most of the day. The babysitter moved that bucket of toys to another room, put me in a crib and proceeded to go off and read or something, and left me there for hours with nothing to do, only coming back to check on me or feed me. My parents came back to me just sadly sitting in my crib. Put my child to bed and had a friend over and masturbated on the couch together, where they at least courteous to put down a towel first. Not mine, but my friend's. We watched her daughter's nanny playing with her, singing to her and just being so lovely. She was so good that all the others' mums wanted to hire her. Not a nanny cam, but the video baby monitor managed to catch our than 1.5-month-old projectile vomiting on me, and then straight up into the mouth and on the face of my husband 2 minutes later. Person without kids here who plans to have kids. Parents, do you usually tell babysitters that you have a nanny cam installed? I'm curious and thinking about the potential legal and ethical implications both ways, and I'm guessing different states have different laws about recording persons without their consent. Not me, but my aunt and uncle. Their CCTV cam caught their nanny sexually abusing my toddler cousin and their 1-year-old or so baby. This was many years ago. This was a few years ago. Luckily they were young enough to not have very lasting memories. They had them counseled by child therapies, so I think they are more or less good. Well, a case which happened near where I live. Woman used to work. Husband out of country. Had a 2-year-old kid. They hired a nanny to look after him during daytime. Day by day kid started looking malnourished, so she set up a spy cam. Apparently the lady used to bring her kid and feed him all the food left for the kid she was supposed to babysit. Then she would feed the kid cheap biscuits. She was promptly handed over to police. The family I nanny for told me that their previous nanny got caught doing loads of awful things. The couple that outraged me most were 1. Leaving their 3-year-old daughter in the tub with water up to her chest for 2 hours every day while she sat in another room unable to see said child. And 2. Once she went to run an errand with the same kid, and their doorbell camera caught her putting kid in car seat, not buckling her, and peeling off. The mom said you could see toddler trying to buckle herself in before they took off. This isn't an answer, more of an additional question. But how much of the video do parents with nanny cams watch? Or do they watch them on speed playback and adjust the speed to normal if they see something suspicious or noteworthy? I smell a gold question that'll make the YouTube channels. Farting loudly. I have cameras all over the inside and outside of my house. It's standard with a Ring doorbell. Next came critter cams I put near my bird feeders. Then cameras everywhere. I used them mostly to look for the wild bunnies in my yard, and to see the owl leave its roost at night. The indoor cameras are dog cameras. My wife and I use them to view and talk to our dogs while at work. The weirdest thing I've caught my dog doing. I had made a batch of jerky, put it in a large Ziploc bag, and place it in the dining room table in preparation for a camping trip. My 19-pound Shih Tzu, which is large for a Tzu, was caught on video moving a dining room chair, jumping up onto it, then jumping onto the table. He ate the entire bag of jerky leaving only the bag. He did this in less than 10 minutes. My babysitter took our kids out of the house and claimed she went to the park. Turns out she took them to a friend's house without car seats. She's masturbated on my bed. Why would anyone ever install a nanny cam and not tell their babysitter about it? If you tell them, then they won't do anything bad because they know they'd be caught. Isn't everyone better off that way? I love that almost all of the answers are about dogs. Bro, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.